Okay, this is about what's going on in the rioting around the country. No, they're not protests, they're rioting. Now, there were some protests where people, were protesting peacefully, and I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the slime balls who were going around and rioting, looting, and people are defending this crap. All right. First off, it's stupid. I'm going to go over a few things why this is moronic. Well, this is moronic because it is. You're defending criminals for being criminals. First off, I think it was in Dallas where there were. I'm just going to start over, kind of go over some other stuff. Right, as you know, George Floyd was killed by police on camera, and people around the country, including the left, the right, and different people, were very upset about this, and rightfully so. And for once, the country, from different political perspectives, are coming together, going, "This is wrong. We want something done." And this was, in a weird, tragic way, was bringing people from opposite sides of the who have been arguing when they're agreeing that something needs to be done, which is very rare in this country. America, we're kind of a rowdy country anyway, so we're always at each other's throats over something. But this is the few times where America as a whole, as like 98 to 99% of Americans, are like, something needs to be done here. Okay, and it almost came to fruition till the rioters showed up and then just destroyed all hope of actually getting something done about police brutality. And I'm going to do a different video on that. But what's going on here is the rioting and people are defending this stuff. Here's the thing: when you, like, Target, Walmart, the large companies, all companies have some sort of insurance policy. Walmart and Target are no different. Now, companies like Walmart, Target, Best Buy, the large big box stores, they have people who are experts. They have people where they get good insurance policies, and they probably most likely have riot and looting addendums to their policies because they have high value stuff and they know that they can be targets. So if someone loots and burns down their store, they're covered. They have insurance for that. Small companies, most of them do not. Now, here's something interesting I did find out. I found this out for a guy on Twitter, and he actually showed evidence. And I'm going to take his word for this because this isn't some guy just shooting off at the hip. It's probably someone who knows insurance. And normally I don't take someone's word for it from Twitter, but for this guy I will because he did show evidence, and it was very intelligently done. Then again, I've heard some people say very intelligent things are dumb as a box of rocks, but this was actually pretty good. Excuse me a minute. So, what happened? What happens with a lot of times they have insurance. They have insurance company for fire. Sometimes they'll cover arson. So can you cover arson just in case someone gets mad at me and says, "Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, we can add that on." And so they'll have a basic insurance company in case there's a fire, in case like there's a natural disaster, there's earthquake addendums that you can get it added even if you live in the middle of Texas. You can get it. Heck, but there's different, or you could have like hurricane insurance if you live near. So there's different addendums. Well, for businesses, and I think that homes maybe so. I don't know. Um, that's something that probably needs to be looked into. But I know for businesses, you can. They don't cover looting and rioting unless you have that, and they don't offer it. You have to ask for it. Okay. And looting and rioting is an additional rider that costs additional money, and of course, like most insurance, it has a what you would call, a deductible. So after over so much, anything under so much, we're not going to cover. And so a lot of these businesses don't. Most of these businesses, I would say, a vast majority of these businesses do not have that rider on there. Do not have that. So when these guys are gone, they're gone. They're not going to get covered. Or if not, they're going to limit their coverage depending on what the insurance policy says. Not only did these people lose their private businesses, these aren't Targets, these aren't Walmarts, these aren't Aldi's, these aren't like grocery store chains which have these type of insurance, most likely have these type of insurance policies. These are small businesses who may not even know such insurance policies were available, unless someone just happened to ask, like, what happens if there's a riot or looting? Oh, does that? No, it doesn't. Do you have something that does? And if they say yes, then so, well, can you kind of add that on? Maybe have a higher deductible. That way, you don't lose everything. So some of these people, they've lost their businesses. They're going to have to file for bankruptcy because of this crap. And then there's the people that work at these companies. These people have lost their jobs. And then you have idiots on Twitter and Facebook who are defending this as, well, these people have a right to be mad. Listen, people have a right to be mad about what happened to George Floyd, about how the cops fucked this up, and how there's something wrong here. That now there is a whole story that's going to come out, I'm sure, but this is wrong. Now, this wasn't just black people. There were a bunch of white people doing it too. So this was not a racial-based, people robbing stores. This was whites and blacks going in and robbing stores, looting. There were people doing arson. One guy did a pipe bomb at a bank. Oh, there's a good way to get the FBI and the ATF in down there now, because they will find the suckers that did it. They may. That one, I'm not sure if they will, because it was a pipe bomb. That might be more difficult. Then again, I'm not in the law enforcement field, so I really don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I just happen to. My dad was a lawyer, and I listened to lawyers on the internet, so I can learn more. I do not even know enough to be a lawyer. I just know enough to say, okay, I can see where they're coming from. I'm an IT guy and I'm an electrician. That I can actually talk about. But this is horrendous for these people. And then I also have politicians. And then let's talk about the CEO of Target, who, if I was a major stockholder, I would demand his resignation or demand he be flat out fired. For him to say, hey, with the George Floyd family and the people upset, I empathize with you, I'm upset about this too, that's fine. But when he bends the knee to a bunch of looters, rioters, and felons committing felonies and robbing his stores, he should be flat out fired. Now, unless I'm taking it out of context, if I am, then, I will definitely. If I am, then I am, and then but still, you don't bend the knee to these people. Well, he's trying to keep trying to keep him from looting his businesses. How about you hire some private security and put him on the lots? That will, with some privately armed security on your lots, that'll stop this crowd. Because this stuff is spread to Dallas, which that was an interesting story. There's a bunch of bricks there. It's like, but there's no construction going on here. These riots that are going around the country, someone is organizing this. Someone is behind this. All right? And a bunch of myrmidons are going in and doing whatever they want and doing what these people are told. Maybe this administration, I'm not going to bet on it, might actually go and try to find out who's behind this and put them in jail. Even if they can't get the ringleaders, they can get someone who's doing something, who's doing this. Bob Barr said Bob Barr pretty much said without saying that that if they find out who's doing this, they're going to put them in jail. If you cross state lines to go do this, you're going to jail in federal court. If you're behind this communication between this, you're going to go to jail and go to court. No, those weren't his words verbatim, but he pretty much said that. Overall, this is a horrendous thing. This is a terrible thing that's going on. It's very bad what happened to George Floyd. The entire country agrees with this, except for a few idiots. But on the other hand, most people don't understand that this is bad to go looting. And the people who were supporting the looting and rioting, mix of words, looting and rioting, what are you thinking? Get your head out of your rear end and think about this. You shouldn't go around destroying people's homes, destroying people's businesses. Oh, and let's talk about the burning of Precinct 7 over in Minneapolis. Good going, assholes. Because in that precinct, there's an evidence locker, most likely. No, maybe it's not maybe they have a big one downtown, but they kind of store the stuff there, and then they'll probably transfer it later when they can. Maybe once a day or once a week or once a month they transfer the stuff over there. The thing about these evidence lockers is this stuff is used for stuff as for like rapes, murders, burglaries, other types of crimes. So guess what? A bunch of criminals probably just got free or are not going to go to jail or going to have to let them out of jail because guess what? There's no evidence because you idiots destroyed evidence against people who should be in jail. A man who goes around raping women, he should be in jail. A person who goes around assaulting people for no reason should be. A person who goes around murdering people should be in jail, including cops. But let me tell you this. Guess what, you guys? You guys screwed everything up. Good going. And yeah, so do people who are out there supporting the rioters? Screw you. This isn't about George Floyd anymore. This is about a bunch of people who were using this as a way to instigate riots and try to instigate riots. For what reason? Who knows? Maybe somebody just wants to watch the world burn. And to the politicians who are defending this crap, you guys shouldn't be anywhere near political office if you think this is okay or if you want to stand up against this. And to the mayor of Minneapolis, people should, if you don't resign, people should vote you out. If the people in Minneapolis, if you don't vote this a-hole out, screw you. That's it.